Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Curious Cat. Pretty big day for me, big week. I made an offer on some land and I kind of came in with a lowball offer and they countered with a firm price. I held strong to my lowball offer and they accepted. So I'm a new proud landowner. Pretty exciting times. I know I've been somewhat skeptical of the Canadian real estate market, but at the same time, the governments are inflating the money supply at record rates and things are going to get astronomically more expensive and they're not making any more land. So we're seeing a mass exodus from the cities as people are looking to sell their overinflated real estate, and we have all the boomers looking to retire and they're wanting to move out to quieter, more rural areas just because of the affordability and because of what you get. So I'll be overlooking Okanagan Lake, which is where I grew up. I just love it here. It's sunny. There's an abundance of sunshine and lakes and wealth and food and all that. And all the land's getting snatched up. All the people from the city are just coming up and buying all the raw land lots. And I don't want to get stuck not having land if this hyperinflation gets out of control and all the wealthy people come in and buy everything up. So I thought I may as well at least have some land, and I feel really blessed that I was able to get this land and get in. And yeah, I'm just amazed at the amount of control these powerful elite, the bankers, the governments have. I've been looking at building something small. First of all, they won't allow me to live in my motorhome, in my tiny home. I'm not allowed to live on my own land, even though I own it outright. I bought it cash, and the banks don't have any part in it. I own this outright, and yet they can come in and say, oh, you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do that. And so I'm not even allowed to live on my own land in my tiny home, which is just ridiculous. And even though I own my land, the expenses are still upwards of well over $2,000 a month, $3,000 a year, once the structure has started to be constructed, because you have astronomical property taxes and then there's a yearly fee for the water system. So even when you own it outright and you don't even have a mortgage, you're still paying upwards of $200-300 a month for a small lot. And that just kind of puts things into perspective when they kind of lead people to believe that you own this stuff. You still don't really own it in a sense. You're still taxed to death. They still have power over you. They can still tell you what you can and can't do, even though you own the land outright. And it's really ridiculous, these people thinking they have power over us and authority. It's really that we've all been brainwashed into believing this, and we're kind of holding on to this belief. If we all came together and just said, we're not paying you guys any more income tax, we're not going to play by your stupid rules, they would all have to go get real jobs and work like the rest of us. They couldn't just maintain this illusion of authority they have over us and essentially keep robbing our wealth and keeping us locked down and in the slavery system with all of their laws and regulations and taxation and inflation, and essentially robbing our wealth. So it just really gets me pissed off. These guys, it's a big racket. These guys are all in on it together. And I approached them to try and get some financing. And of course, they wouldn't loan me money, even though I have more assets than I was looking for in a loan amount. But they don't consider that. They only look at how much money you've earned in the previous year. And last year, because I moved, I had a low income year. So now they won't even look at me for lending. Just ridiculous. But they'd probably go and lend to somebody else that has a job and is completely broke, has no assets, no cash, but they're making a wage. So that's what they like. They like little slaves that they can keep forcing them to work all the time and essentially locking them into all this debt. But then somebody who actually has assets and cash to be able to pay that off if they needed to, they won't even look at me. So that's kind of the irony of this system. That's how insane it is right now. And but I am glad I got land, and the banks won't lend to me. So you know what? Screw the banks. I'm pulling the rest of my money. I've requested to talk to the manager. So I'll let him know my thoughts. He's going to get an earful from me. And then I'll be pulling my money. I've been banking with these guys since I was 3 years old, and I'll be pulling the rest of my cash out of their system. And essentially, I won't ever use them again. And that's the way I roll. You don't want to play business, then you don't get my business. So that's the way it's going to go here, I guess. That's how they want to roll. And that's where we're at. So I'm going to make this happen myself, and we'll see how much trouble I run into with these regulators and the bylaw. I'm going to have to do whatever I have to do to make this work. But now they've got so much regulation in Canada, they don't even allow you to build your own home. I personally think that should be a human right. We should have a right to be able to hunt, to provide for our families with food, and we should have a right to be able to build our own shelter. And now they're coming in and saying, oh, if you're not a certified home builder and you don't have this certification, then you're not even allowed to build your own home. How ridiculous is that? So they're just trying to tell us what we can and can't do. They don't even allow us to essentially build our own homes. And now you have to get all this licensing and permitting, even to be able to hunt and to be able to get your own food. So that's how ridiculous this world's become. They want us locked down. They want us enslaved, following all their rules. And meanwhile, they do whatever they want. They come in and counterfeit the money out of thin air, buy whatever they want with it as zero interest loans. They go right to the source, print the money. So ridiculous that yet you and I, they get to decide who they lend to and for how much, and all the stipulations they have. So even if they lend me the money, I have to have the house built in 6 months. I have to have insurance, which is thousands of dollars a year. I have to jump through all their little hoops. And that's just how insane this is. So I don't care. They try and knock me down. They try and pull the plug on my dreams. And that I'll just do whatever I have to do to make it happen. I'm not going to let them knock me down. So that's the attitude I hope all you guys have. Just keep pushing through. We're always going to have these assholes at the top who think they have authority over us, and they're going to try and keep us enslaved and keep us knocked down and disempowered. Well, fuck them. I don't give a shit. I'll just do whatever I have to do. And if it comes down to it, I'm just going to build a big fence with a no trespassing sign. And I'm not going to be too friendly if the bylaw try and come onto my private property. So hopefully it doesn't get to that. I'll try and play nice at first. But if it comes down to it, I guess they'll have a battle on their hands, because at the end of the day, I need somewhere to live and I own the property outright. And, I'm calling around and they're all using this excuse. You can't get a hold of anyone. No one's calling you back. All the regulating bodies, you can't get a straight answer out of anyone. They're all skirting around your questions and all that. And no one's available because of COVID. But, we're all still expected to come up with all this money and pay this high rent. They got us all backed into a corner. So there's no alternatives. I'm trying to come in and buy a somewhat affordable lot and build for myself. I've been in trades for 20 years. Oh no, you can't do that. You can't build your own house. You need to be certified this, certified that. You need this much money. You need to submit your building plans. We need to approve it. What a bunch of fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand this shit, this over-regulation. They're pushing the price of building your home in Canada out of reach for pretty much all of us. And the younger generations, the millennials and under, have next to no chance to get ahead in these times. They've over-regulated everything. And that's how insane this whole thing has gotten. I hope it all implodes. I hope these fuckers end up on the streets and they'll be coming to us for loans in the future. Hopefully those who hold Bitcoin, the tables will turn and then they'll be coming to us for loans. I know that's a bit of a dream, but I do believe it's possible. I think their fiat money, their fake money is collapsing, and we're seeing that now. And we do need a new system to come into play, so you never know. But anyways, I never forget. Somebody screws you over like that and they try and hold you down and push you back. I get their first and last name and I never forget. So I can't wait to talk to the manager And yeah, I know that's a bit of a harsh attitude, but look how they're treating us. Look what they're trying to do to us, hold us back and disempower us and have all this authority over us and tell us what we can and can't do, and not even allowed to build your own home. And you need all this huge money. I've been trying to get my license for hunting. You need a gun license and you need a hunting license, and all of them you have to take the certified course, which is hundreds of dollars, and you need to pass the test, and then you need to pay all this money. You got to mail it in to get your permit. It's just a big racket, you know. We're all born equal. We should be able to just go and hunt on the land, in my opinion, and to be able to provide for our families. We should be able to build our own shelters and it's just so overregulated now that essentially only the rich can afford to build, so it's tricky times. And you know, they're not having any sympathy for the younger generations. They have no sympathy for the situation we're faced with a shitty economy, overregulation, inflation where you can't even afford anything. And you know, they're not relaxing the rules for us or anything. They're not having any breaks for us. It's all the breaks are for the big corporations, you know. Oh, big corporations are having trouble. Oh, we'll bail them out with taxpayers' money. But then the average, you know, middle and lower class people, there's no breaks for us. It's just a fucking joke. These guys, total power grab. So I hope one day the tables turn and all these evil motherfuckers get what's coming their way. I believe in karma, and I think the tables will turn, and hopefully they get a taste of their own medicine. So that's what I think. I know I have a bit of a harsh attitude, a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth after dealing with the bankers. Every time I deal with the bankers, I just go buy more Bitcoin because they fucking piss me off so much, and I want to divest. I hope their whole Ponzi scheme of a system collapses and all of these assholes end up on the street and get a taste of what it's like when they act like they have all this authority over us. So those are just my thoughts. Definitely a bit of a rant this morning. So yeah, there you have it. And yeah, I'll show you how you do it anyways. You know, try and hold you down. You just make it happen. You just hold on to the belief, and you don't recognize failure. Just stay persistent, make it happen, and maintain a positive attitude, and do whatever you have to do to make it happen. And I know that my rant probably sounded a little negative, but I'm highly positive. I'm going to make this building happen no matter what. I'm going to get on the land. I've read through the bylaw. I've found all the loopholes that I can use. And so I'm going to do my best, or I'm going to make it happen. So I'll be on the land hopefully by this fall. I have about 3 weeks to the closing date, and then the land is mine. And then I plan to get the building permit, get a bit of a foundation built, and then I'll be pulling my motorhome on with a temporary residence permit that allows me to have the motorhome on once I've started construction. And then I'll just stretch out the construction time for however long I need, and raise a bit more capital, and build something really small to start with, just so I can minimize my exposure to basically, yeah, I don't want to overspend and get myself backed into a corner. So I'm going to build really small to start with. That'll get me on the land, and then I'll raise a bit more capital and do a second phase where I build a bigger residence. So that's the plan. You guys are going to be with me for the journey, so I'll be updating you as that progresses and just kind of show you how it unfolds. And yeah, you might get to see some interesting disputes with the bylaw if it really comes down to it. Hopefully not. I'll just start by playing Mr. Nice Guy and seeing what I can do to make this happen, jumping through all their hoops, you know, filling out all their forms and all their bullshit and all the money grabs. Every time I turn around, they're already wanting money, lawyers and real estate agents and taxation and building permits and all this bullshit. And they've just pushed the cost of living and trying to own your own place, build your own place, just way out of reach for all of us. So anyways, got to play the game, right? It's now or never. So we'll see how it goes. That's where I'm at. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you're at. And let's just do what we have to do, right, guys? And we'll make a better future for ourselves. So times are changing. I think a lot of this corruption is getting exposed. And I'm a believer that good will prevail. And these evil, corrupt people that are using power to hold it against others and enslave others will eventually crumble. Their world is not built on good, it's built on evil, and I don't think it's sustainable. So I think in the end, their systems will crumble and good will rise to the top. That being said, have a fantastic day. Love you guys.